The CPF system is just one tool that the government uses. Stop blaming it on foreigners.
If they can buy a property, they're not going to go for your ECs. It's very narrow kind of thinking that CPF equals stability. If you don't have CPF, equals not stable. Welcome guys to More Than Money, the podcast where we talk about property, money and mindset. Of course, we are going to go beyond the dollars and cents. In today's episode, we're going to explore why Singaporeans are so obsessed with money. Of course, a bit of context. We are both real estate consultants. Myself, Geoffrey and Elsie. We are from KW Singapore, Keller Williams Singapore. Mr. Elsie Abdullah,
Yes.
how long have you been a property agent?
Okay, I've done this too long that I've seen so many aspects of it which you will never see, on videos or in books or in theory. So, 15 years to be exact.
Okay.
And yes, over this period of 15 years, I think I've seen the passion, the obsession with property. In fact, even when I started real estate, the idea was immediately for a property agent, it's like, you know what? You must be an investor.
As an agent?
As a property agent. Okay. After a few years in the industry, I realized that the reason that I feel, at least, the reason that your managers want you to buy a property is because if you are tied down to a property, let's say you have to pay an installment of $4,000 because you don't have CPF.
Okay.
Right? Obviously, you have to work harder. Right? Of course, the companies are going to get a cut of 10-15%. The companies that hire you as a property agent.
From your commission.
Okay. The harder you work, the more they earn.
Yep.
Right? And the managers earn overriding as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So looking back, it was all about, personally, I feel, at least for me, it was all about making you, it's a psychological play. Right? Rather than making money from real estate. Because the numbers don't make sense.
Okay. But what about I think there's an example where insurance agents, for example, financial advisors, they are, in a way, is it forced, not forced, encouraged to get a car, for example, so that you have some expenses to serve more clients.
Right.
Like you mentioned, if you have mortgage, you have something to pay for, therefore you will work harder. There's some truth to it, right? So what do you think about that?
It's just straight off. Yes, you can just grind it out. You're going to take lesser bets lah. A lot of property agents, if they have invested in property, they're not willing to spend money on experimental things sometimes. Things that give you 10-20x your amount, like yourself.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. To take someone from 0 to 1 is good to give them that push, for example. It's like, rather than the typical agents out there who bum around, laze around, don't do anything, why not you commit to something?
Yes.
And then you have something to work towards.
You're right.
Therefore, you will be more hungry.
Yes.
To work lah, in that sense.
You're right.
But you are saying that if you already are driven somehow, if you already know how to work, then maybe putting money there, locking yourself up into a mortgage is not as good as it seems. I mean, yes, we understand the play of forced savings, building equity, building capital. Like, what's the alternative? If, let's say, as a property agent, you earn 10 to 15K comfortably or maybe predictably, do you think that property agent should buy a property?
As long as you are clear on why you're buying a property.
So if the objective is to make money, then you should question yourself. Is this the best vehicle to do it?
Right? What do you think? I mean, even for you, yourself.
I think back then I had about 50 to 60. I managed to save up 50, 60. So I thought, okay, I need to invest. And then this guy, he laid out the plan for me where I can own 2 properties. Back then, our budget allowed us only for either an EC, a new EC, or an HDB. So the plan was, okay, why not we buy this HDB under one name? And then, since I have potential earnings from wanting to be a real estate agent back then, I will buy the private property or the condo post-MOP. I was obsessed with the idea of owning 2 properties because on paper, it made sense in a way. Right? The HDB is supplementing the mortgage for the private property. And then, asset-wise, net worth, I will have, let's say 600K plus whatever property, maybe 1.4. So asset-wise, I'm worth 2 million. If I were to buy this private property under my name, limited to my budget, of course, I only can afford about 1.5-ish. And running the numbers, assuming it goes up in a span of 4 years, the net gains that I get is only about 150 odd thousand. I think I can make more from commissions or from sales versus the money putting inside the property.
Yeah.
So that's why, again, from being obsessed about property is the only way to go, and slowly getting exposed to people like Alex Hormozi, right? The GOAT in business, in my opinion. It's like, why not you invest in yourself? SME 500.
So
Yeah,
so there's SNP. So now S and me.
Yeah, SME 500.
Yes.
Essentially betting on yourself lah. Yeah, so accumulate first. Then later on you want to buy. I mean, I'm going to buy eventually.
Right.
Because I want to stay there. I want it to be a nice. I mean, I've seen all the show flats. Oh my God.
Perfect.
Ooh la la.
Yeah.
Yeah, touch, feel. It's nice.
Yes.
I can imagine myself living there.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to buy just for the sake of I want to make money now. Because in my opinion, I can save at a higher rate, and then I can commit to a bigger quantum in the next 2-3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so for a lot of people, it's like how do you say it? It's like a point in life where you feel like, oh, I want to be part of the club of property owners. Right? Have you ever felt that way, or was it just really about the money?
Okay, money. For example,
Money. Okay.
I joined a lot of courses.
Yes, until today.
From iQuadrant to Marco and Friends to Eric Chu. I love watching them. I love how they explain why property is the way to go, right? Because of leverage, because of so-called more or less guaranteed capital, right? You can get back your capital. So, and then...
Sorry.
So that's the reason why I felt that, yes, property is the way to go in a way. But our first HDB, of course, is just for home, for shelter.
I mean, we are talking about why Singaporeans are obsessed with property. Using CPF to cash out CPF, to be able to
cash out money, you mean?
to cash out money from your CPF. That means because your installment, your current HDB, you're paying by CPF.
Yes.
Is it fully?
My wife's CPF.
Your wife's CPF?
Yes, full.
Is it full?
Full.
So essentially, you're not paying, but you're getting cash rental from it.
Oh, yeah.
So if that was not the case initially, would you have done this? Would you have just stayed in your HDB?
I think for us, it still made sense because our monthly mortgage is only about 1,003, and then the rental we are getting about 4,000. So even if we use cash for mortgage, I'm still more than willing to top up for the condo rent. I was ready to top up, but it matches. So for us, it's a bonus lah. But to your point, yes, if it's not for CPF, I don't think Singaporeans will be buying properties at an early stage, very early. I think Singaporeans, if I'm not wrong, is one of the, in terms of age-wise, we are one of the youngest in terms of home ownership, where we start off.
Wow.
Because of this thing called CPF lah.
Right.
I mean, you're forced to save by the government, and then on top of that, your employer contributes, right? So you already have a forced savings. And then what are you going to do with it? You're not going to wait until you're 55, but you need to buy a home, shelter. Then might as well you use it. Yeah.
Yeah. So make your CPF productive rather than just leave it at 2.5%. You're right.
Most BTO homeowners are staying in their property for 5 years, for example. They don't have to think about mortgage because it's covered. Right? BTO is like very special product. Only product in the world that I know of besides Kickstarter, in my opinion, is a very special product that is new and it's cheap. On top of that, you get grants. And the grants only made for property or housing.
Only, right? Only.
So there's that influx in terms of cash or support for Singaporeans to
own a property. To have a vested interest in the country.
Correct.
To own a home.
Yeah.
Right? I think it also goes back to I think the CPF system is just one tool that the government uses to make sure that our whole system works. Imagine if we are like a country where there's not much home ownership. That means Singaporeans will be more, we will want to travel out, maybe don't have roots here because you're not invested in a house for 25 years or 20 years. Of course, granted, there's an MOP staff and 5 years, but somehow there's a lock-in mechanism, right? For you can't sell, right? Yeah. So again,
I think I heard like Singapore is a private limited. And then we are the workers, we are the so-called human resource, are the only resource available.
Yeah.
So it is in our country's interest to ensure that we keep on working. So maybe housing is part of the equation again, CPF allows you to buy housing, and then BTO profits will allow you to upgrade to your private property, your condos and whatnot. Ownership rate 90.8%.
Yes.
One of the highest. And then one of the youngest in terms of home ownership. So it is by design that we are going to own a property. But the question now is, why are we obsessed with properties in terms of investment, not in terms of home ownership?
Yeah, if you're a human being, you're obsessed with home lah, having a home, having a shelter, right? By extension, condo prices go up because of BTO. Because if BTO, a lot of the condo buyers, guys, just stop blaming it on foreigners because they are buying in the RCR region. I don't think they're buying anymore, right? I think
with
now,
the 60% ABSD, yep.
The family offices in Singapore, you know, the rich people from Asia even, I mean, they are not buying property. They are buying other things. Okay.
No, if they can buy a property, they're not going to go for your ECs. Right? Because you said that, because there's always this saying, I don't want to sell my EC on the 5th year mark. Because 10th year mark
can sell to foreigner.
Fully privatized, sell to foreigner.
I can sell to the Dyson owner. Housing is one of the tools that the government uses is CPF, right? So now I can use CPF to buy a house.
Yep.
So it doesn't feel like I'm paying. So I buy a house. It's a no-brainer. And the government, rewards me. They're going to give me more money. Right now I have a BTO. After 5 years, my BTO is going to make $200,000 or 300. Now this is like $300,000.
Yeah, now it's like 2x.
2x, right? And then now, of course, I don't want to buy another HDB. Most of them will just go to another private property because asset progression, right?
Yep.
So they buy a condo and condo prices just go up because there's demand. Investment, in a way, it starts from public housing. I would say, I would argue. It's not like it's out of the blue. It comes from something.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the roots.
Or it starts somewhere.
It's not like, I want to invest. People just don't get rich, like unless you have rich parents or you have a good job. But
that's a separate topic.
But I can argue a lot of Singaporeans are obsessed with property because property is rewarding them anyway. Yeah, so it's like a positive cycle.
I see. So why, in terms of investment wise, why are people not considering other alternatives?
I think,
or maybe we are limited by our circles of friends, right? But I know in the online space, people are talking about stocks and shares versus properties. But by and large, is mainly property the way to go, especially with agents. It's because of leverage. It's because of the limited supply and the perception that properties will always go up.
Yes.
Right? Let's say private properties will keep on going up because there's a supply and demand mismatch. And then the number of naturalized citizens. Sometimes like the data, though it can be manipulated, but some of the data, like it's the truth. These citizens or PRs can't buy HDB, therefore they are forced to buy private properties. And then if there's not enough supply, therefore the properties will still keep on going up. And then the fact that interest rates are low. So cost of borrowing is so cheap. Now it's sub 2%, it's going to come down. So imagine if you bought your property 1-2 years ago, interest rate maybe 3.8, 4.2%. You think it is expensive, which is fine. But because of the rates being low, no one else is competing with you. You get me? So now when the interest rates are lower, it seems cheaper. Your loan power is higher. This will cause properties to inch up again. So for example, one can do all the research and realize and conclude that there is no undersupply. Right? Therefore,
but prices will still go up.
But prices will still go up due to all the nuances, like property agents having influence in the market, the cultural DNA that we have, parents encouraging kids to buy. Because, example, can I borrow 300,000 to down pay for my EC? So can I down pay 300K for my EC? No problem. Why not buy the biggest 4-bedder? Go big. Then you go home. Versus that,
start a business.
Yeah, I want to do a startup. I think I want to do this AI agent thingy. What? Go and buy your property first. Here's this 300,000.
We are not rugged individuals. You know, in US they have this rugged individualism where people. It's almost like an entrepreneurship kind of. You know, they can't sit still. They want to start something. But I feel like the whole, again, it's a systemic thing in Singapore. You try doing that for 1 year, what you're gonna eat? take risks. But in the US, their parents got garage. That's why all startups they start in the garage, the extra space. Nowadays, if you want to do that, it's the bomb shelter lah.
I guess the environment supports that.
Yes.
For example, the US.
Yes,
you want to be creative, you want to take on bigger bets. I will support you in terms of housing you in my garage. Don't commit to something big.
Yeah.
But in Singapore, it's more of a pragmatic approach.
Yes.
I mean, it goes all the way from your career itself down to your property itself. Yeah, like, for example, self-employed. My mother-in-law was like, why CPF? Why
you don't have CPF, Geoffrey? Why you don't have CPF?
Why? So my question to her like, what? Is CPF necessary?
CPF, in a way, it represents more than just CPF. It represents stability.
Yep.
Right? So the mother-in-law is more concerned. How are you going to raise my grandchildren or my daughter if you don't have a stable income?
Correct.
So CPF is a sign of that.
Which is not wrong.
Which is not
wrong.
wrong.
So she has our interest at heart.
Yes.
But again, it's very narrow kind of thinking that stability equals, or CPF equals stability. If you don't have CPF equals not stable.
Does your mother-in-law follow our channel?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, that's good. So
but
continue.
I love you so much. Yeah, so that is like cultural. So it comes from the engineer, the lawyer, the doctor. Kind of,
is it an Asian thing? Most likely Asian thing. Asian thing.
Yeah. And then goes to the property. It's like, don't get too wild on your ideas. Pragmatic approach is after BTO, condo. Condo every 4 years, flip.
Even in Singapore, when you say culturally, there's a lot of cultures.
Yep.
Right? And even financial culture is different in certain societies lah.
Yep.
Let's say Malay or Chinese or for example, if in the Malay community culture, right? So for parents, I've heard this a lot, when they say that, hey, condo is so small. Condo is so small. If when we have no space for kenduri, right? No, kenduri is like a feast lah. Gathering, right?
That means, do you think that the parents discourage?
In a way, because again, they are not they don't know the benefits, the financial benefits of it lah.
So again, back to the cultural DNA. That's the reason why I guess Singaporeans are so obsessed with property. Be it leverage, be it cultural DNA, because again, capital is more or less intact. You buy new EC today, Elfie, can lose money or not?
No lah.
No. What you lose?
Time. Yeah.
9 years.
9 years.
Assuming built 4 years.
4 years.
MOP 5 years.
You're right.
9 years. But guaranteed capital appreciation.
Guaranteed.
More or less.
Right.
So as a boomer parent supporting their kids at maybe 50s, you do not want insane returns. What? You want guaranteed capital and then decent growth. Rather than put my money elsewhere, might as well I give my son a head start into the private property game. Because sometimes we don't know better. We are busy with our family. We are busy with our career. Then you want to think about stock picks, where Palantir is going, Tesla and their robo-taxi. I mean, I bought all this, but I realized cannot keep up.
Yeah.
But that is the boring way to go, I guess. Investment, if it's like too exciting, it's gonna be
again, like stocks, right? Being around property agents, like they like to play stocks also. When I say play, they literally play, bro. It's like sports, right? So you sell, you buy, you sell, you buy. Every day, your mind is attached to this. There's a cost to it, okay? There's a cost to playing all these games. Not games, I mean stocks. And then at the end of the month, so what? You're net positive $100. Yeah, so it's a game. So we have minds where we want to meddle in things, right? Especially stocks. Something happened in Tesla, or you want to sell now, you want to do this, but in property, because you can't do anything for a fixed period.
Correct.
So if you bought a property now, you are locked in for 4 years. If you bought a new launch, it's gonna be around 4 years or so. While so you can't do much. So it's like dollar cost averaging
into a property,
into a property,
which is the best investment approach, regardless of stocks, property.
Yes, it is the best, right? You're not Warren Buffett. Even Warren Buffett, I think he avoids certain stocks, unless you're Nancy Pelosi. Okay, sorry.
So you want to make money, just follow her.
Exactly. There's an app for that. Yeah.
I guess, again, which also links to if you want to make money, follow the government. One thing I learned about inflation is that it's not that the asset keeps growing in value. It's just that our dollar is losing value
Yes,
right?
yes.
And that's why the asset
goes up. I think we've said everything we needed to say about why Singaporeans love property.
This is the end of today's episode.
Yes.
Or the first episode. Next week, we are going to tackle the upgrading dilemma.
Ooh.
And why moving up might cost you more than money.
Money.
So see you in the next one.
All right, guys. See you.